I chose easily to do because they're so lovable, to love those new kids as if they were my own. And I think that's a powerful thing to witness for the audience to see that kind of love. And I know it's just a TV show, but it speaks to people and it takes us somewhere special. And it means a lot to people, and I'm happy and proud to be part of it.
A new year, a new season of the Pop Culture Planet podcast. Kristen Maldonado here, where we cover the world of entertainment while shining a light on representation and inclusion. And we are back for season 5, kicking off with everyone's favorite Disney mom, although now Disney grandma as well, Maria Canals-Barrera. She talks about what it was like to return to the world of Wizards of Waverly Place with Wizards Beyond Waverly Place and why it was such a no-brainer. I hope you enjoyed the conversation.
I knew I'd seen you before. I was like, I know you, Kristen. I know that face. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great.
I mean, you look amazing.
Thank you.
And
So do you.
I gotta say, we've always known you as, an iconic Disney mom, but now you're graduating to grandma, abuelita, in Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. I'd love to hear about what made you want to return to this role and what was it like stepping back into Teresa's shoes?
You mean what made me want to return? Of course, I want to return. It's a fantastic show that people love, and I love doing. So yeah, I mean, for years we get asked every day, "Are you guys coming back? Is there going to be a reboot?" And fantasizing about what the reboot would be like and imagining it. And so, and I was like, well, it may never happen. At least I was blessed enough to be Teresa for 4 years, and she lives on forever in the show. But then when it was actually really happening, it was thrilling. And
Mhm.
to get to play abuelita, which is grandma in Spanish, for those of you that don't know, is really cool because my husband and I, we talk about, we have a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old, and they were tiny when the show was on, when we were filming. And we talk about, hey, we want to be like really, let's like take our vitamins and we want to be active grandparents we want one day. So let's make sure that we do that. So I get to practice on the new sequel show. And it's a lot of fun. Um, yeah, there's just so many layers, with playing the same character at a different season in her life.
Mhm.
It's a lot of fun. It's a learning curve for me. Uh, and it's written really, really beautifully.
I'd love to hear about what it was like for you kind of stepping on set the first day and, reuniting with David Henry, kind of meeting the kids that were going to play your grandchildren. What was that like?
Oh, it was wonderful. David invited us to see the original cast, a run through of the producers run through of the pilot.
Hmm.
So I got to meet the writers and I met the kids before I actually worked with them. And they were just terrific and, so talented. The pilot was terrific. When I saw it, I was like, wow, this is going to be great. And I'm thrilled. So, I'd already known the show was great. I'd already seen the talent, Mimi as the mom, terrific. Um, I got to see the special moments between Justin and Alex, played by Selena and David as adults now.
Hmm.
And that was really touching. I got emotional watching some of those scenes between them because they're adults now and they're
Hmm.
trying to figure things out as adults, but you still see them as kids. And I saw them as kids. I
Yeah.
watched them as kids and as real actors. So it was like really cool. So then months later, when I was back on set now to actually film an episode, it was easy. It was so easy, and meaning that I felt so comfortable. The set was gorgeous. The layer is exactly the same. And the writing is great. The team knows what they're doing. They know what they want. It's a beautiful callback to the original show where some
Hmm.
traditions are tapped into and some jokes are recalled, and then also telling this new story with a lot of talented kids in the new show. So I had a great time. I loved it.
Oh, I love that. I mean, you can see like that family bond already on screen, which is so much fun. And I wanted to ask you because, what I think is so fun is like you're getting a chance to interact with all of these different, new characters in this world. And I feel
Mhm.
like sometimes in media, mother-in-laws can kind of have a bad rap, but I feel like you have such a great connection with the actress that plays Giada, and you really are able to support her as like another mortal marrying into this wizarding family. So what was it like getting a chance to like connect with her and someone who kind of like almost reflects your character in a way?
Oh, I thought it was beautifully written. Where we have this heart to heart, where I really meet her where she's at. Yeah, there are a lot of one-dimensional mother-in-laws in the way they're written. There's some amazing ones, like on Everybody Loves Raymond.
Hmm.
Love her, love Doris Roberts, and I think Teresa's is on her way to being that kind of funny, but also there's a lot of heart too, like in what you mentioned, because we have the dynamic of she and I are the mortals on the
Hmm.
show. And so, but there's also the element of the daughter-in-law wanting to be perfect for the mother-in-law and the misconception of thinking that because Justin is so amazing, then his parents are amazing. So I want to be amazing. Well, hey, let's be real. We made mistakes, but I think it's wanting to do better, loving unconditionally that propels people forward. So I like that. I love that beautiful scene where I really tell her, hey, I'm for you and I'm not
Yeah.
perfect and you don't have to be. It's tough and just wanting to do it right is enough. The writing was so beautiful and I think a lot of people will really appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's nice. She's like, I'm here for my son, but I'm not just here for him. I'm here for you. And I think that that's just like very heartwarming.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful that she's that kind of woman,
Hmm.
that Teresa's written to be that kind of woman. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And I think that that's something that like I feel like you brought to so many of your projects is like you are oftentimes playing a really strong, compassionate woman on screen. Is that something that, you really like aspire towards, or is there anything you've kind of taken away from the roles you've played like that in your own life?
Oh, that's such a touching question because that's how I want to be. It's what I do aspire to be everything that God wants me to be, which is selfless, which is a battle for all of us because we're human, which
Hmm.
is understanding. And um, I try to do that in my own life, try to be the best mom I can be, which is the hardest thing in the world and the most important thing in the world. Just letting
Hmm.
you know, ladies, buckle up. I've gotten the blessing of to play a lot of moms, a lot of them have been written that way, which is good. But if I have to play, a cold mom or a mean mom, I'll do that too. But when I get to play a mom that wants to be a good mom and wants to be there for her children, I really embrace it because that's what I aspire to. That's what I'm trying to do. And I love that I've gotten to do that as Teresa. In the midst of a zany comedy, crazy, wacky comedy, we have a lot of heart in our show. And I think that that's the secret sauce that the Russo, as the mantra is, we're there no matter what for each other. The Russos have each other's backs. You really see that. And I think that that's why people get emotional. They don't just come up to us and say, oh, I laughed so hard. It was so funny. They cry. They are touched by the show because it was funny primarily as a comedy, as it should be, but there was also a reason that we stayed and put up with the mayhem because we loved each other.
Hmm.
And amongst the sibling rivalry, there was forgiveness, and we did have each other's backs as parents and as siblings, in the Russo family. And you get to see that continue. And it's pretty cool because, Billy is not a blood relative, but she is loved as one. She is
Yes,
adopted
absolutely.
into the fold 100%. And I chose easily to do because they're so lovable to love those new kids as if they were my own. And I think that's a powerful thing to witness for the audience to see that kind of love. And I know it's just a TV show, but it speaks to people and it takes us somewhere special. And it means a lot to people. And I'm happy and proud to be part of it.
Oh, absolutely. That is beautiful. And I just think, everything you said is so right. And like to I don't know, to be someone who like grew up watching that show, the original show, and now like I'm about to become a mom. And so like what you're saying,
Oh,
I'm like, oh my God, like I feel that, and like it's stuff that you like it resonates with you as you continue watching and rewatching, and I think what you guys are doing is just so beautiful.
Oh, well, congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're trying to find out everything you can. I don't know if you're expecting right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So, right, what can I eat and what's happening right now? I mean, I remember being just so like focused on that as we should be in this season of our lives.
Hmm.
So, buckle up. There's a it's a
Absolutely.
wonderful ride and nothing, like I said, nothing more important. It's just incredible.
I'm definitely gonna keep that with me. Thank you. And I'd love to look back on just like the legacy of this show. Like, was there anything that, if you were to look back now, whether it's from the original series or the series, that you just have like a favorite memory of working on this franchise, or something that you kind of were like, oh, pinch me, like that's how I knew that this was like a show that was going to resonate with people and really like have a long lasting impact.
Well, the writing being great and the casting being great.
Hmm.
That was really special. That's happens with like a handful of shows, that can last the test of time, that you can watch again and again and enjoy those moments. Like I Love Lucy, it's like iconic for a reason because it was so well done. I'm not saying we're as good, but we seem to have some longevity here. A lot of people really, really love the show. But for me personally, too, a special blessing that I believe uh, that I that I got to receive was I got to play an American mom as a Latin American woman, which we don't see that much of, and we're surrounded by in life. We're
Hmm.
surrounded by Americans, first generation Americans like myself, born and raised in America, where our parents were born somewhere else. So it it is part of us. It's a part of us, but it's not all of us. And what I love about Wizards is I wasn't put in a box. It was part of me, and it was celebrated as a real part of me, not as a two-dimensional part of me. Like when I try to teach Alex Spanish, or when I
Hmm.
try to do that, Mexican wives, old wives, remedy for Justin zit on his forehead, or
Hmm.
when when I speak Spanish a little bit, or it's not, it's real. It was really well written.
Hmm.
So I really like that I got to be part of that storytelling in America as a Latin American woman in a very real, authentic, and individual way. She wasn't a stereotype at all. She got to be all of who she was as Theresa, as a mortal, as a Mexican American, as a mother. And
Hmm.
it was really refreshing for a lot of people to see that, and an education for people that had other ideas about what a Latin American woman is. So I love that I got that opportunity, and that I continue to get to have that opportunity as abuelita Teresa.
Yes, yes, I love that. And I think, for a lot of people, seeing you and Selena on that show, that for a lot of young people, this was their first time getting to see Latin American people, represented on screen. So, I mean, absolutely. I think it definitely
Yeah,
impact.
that were individuals struggling with what everybody else struggles with. We
Hmm.
weren't struggling with immigration stories,
Yeah.
or the maid, or the stereotypes. We were struggling with real life family situations, obedience, traditions,
Hmm.
unconditional love, forgiveness, acceptance, forgiving your siblings, sibling rivalry, pressures in school,
Hmm.
peer pressure, um, marital struggles, just universal situations, um, that anybody and everybody, no matter where their parents are from. And
Hmm.
it was really great to be part of something like that. I hope to see more of it.
Oh, absolutely. And then getting the magic too. I mean, like how
Yeah.
amazing to be able to see, like, Latinos at the center of a story about magic. Like you don't always see that either.
Yeah, it wasn't, there were no limitations.
Hmm.
And having the premise of magic took us anywhere the writers wanted to take us, which was great. The Wild West, the woods and the vampires, werewolves, back in time, the future. It was just wonderful. And we got to play so much. It
Hmm.
was just, oh my gosh, just talking about it is exciting me for what more I'm going to get to do, hopefully, in the sequel, because I had such a good time in this upcoming episode. that's going to be towards the end of season 1. Oh, it was so fun on so many levels. So
Oh,
I'm excited.
I can't wait for people to see it. You know, it's so exciting to be able to see you return for this continuation. I was wondering, like, throughout your vast career, is there any other role or show from your past that you're like, oh, that needs to come back? Like, we should bring that back next.
Oh yeah, it's not going to happen because Big Bang Theory is no longer. But I played one of Raj's love interests in Big Bang Theory, and oh my gosh, I played Isabella,
Mm-hmm.
and she was the cleaning lady,
Mm-hmm.
but she was well written. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? She had a stereotypical job. She was the
Mm-hmm.
cleaning lady at the place where they work. Um, but she was extremely well written, and I the fans really wanted me to come back, wanted something to develop in that crazy romance. There was real chemistry between Raj and I would have loved to see that develop. And there's been articles written talking about how Raj Bella, because they even shipped us, should have come
Uh-huh.
back.
Yes.
So that would have been a lot of fun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that one I've thought about.
We gotta put it out into the world.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to happen, but we can imagine. Who
We can
knows?
imagine. We can imagine. And last thing I wanted to ask was, obviously you guys had so many incredible seasons of the original show. Did you ever take anything from set? Is you have any like memorabilia that you're like, oh, I keep it, I
Oh,
have a little collection.
this is well documented already.
Okay.
That I took the umbrella holder. You know that lime green umbrella holder? It's in my living room. Of course, it barely rains here in California, but I have it. And it makes me happy to look at it. And I have a menu from the Wizard substation, and I have a napkin dispenser, and I have an apron also
Mhm.
that says Wizards substation. Oh, just things like that, which is so special to look at. I like things like memories, you know. I like
Mhm.
little special things, and they don't have to be of value, you know, like monetarily, but they have a special place in my heart. So I like that I got to keep a few things. I have that fish oven mitt. It's
Oh
a
yeah.
I have it and I use it. I shouldn't use these things, but I use them because you know, what if it gets burned or something? So yeah, I have things like that. It was such a beautiful, intricate, maximalist set, especially the layer.
Hmm.
The layer had so many things. You know what I wish I would have kept?
What?
In the original show, that big book was an
Oh,
was an old Bible.
oh wow.
So the magic book was an old Bible. I always thought it protected us from whatever weird stuff was going on. It was a big, beautiful book. And I thought, oh, I wish I would have kept that. Or there was also like scales, like there was
Hmm.
some old, like I like old looking things. And the Bible
Yeah.
was really thick and old and dusty. There are some real antiques on set in the furnishings. Uh, and that would have been cool to have, but I didn't even think of that because, you know, I didn't even think we could ask for something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you noticed how the layer is exactly like the original show. What did you think when you saw it?
Very on point. Were there some things that were literally like brought back, or is all brand new?
I think the couches in the lair are the original, but it's amazing what set designers and set dressers can recreate. Just amazing. Oh, it's true. It's true that it's the original. I was just told it's the original sofas.
Wow,
And it
that's
was so cool to see that. Um, yeah, it's amazing what they can recreate. Do you remember in the original series when we did the Wizard movie
yes, yes.
and we go back
Hmm.
to some of the sets? They recreated the sets
Wow,
in Puerto Rico where we shot the movie. Uh,
amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
just and then it was exact. The substation was exactly. I don't know how they do it. And do you remember in the original remember the beach scenes with the deck? That was on a soundstage. It wasn't
Wow.
on location. And remember that lake that Juliet rose away in?
Hmm.
That was on the stage. They made a lake on the
That's
stage.
what
We
they
didn't go
could
to some
do.
lake on location. Which we
Wow.
we could in lots of films do that, but I'm just so like, because I'm just an actress, so I'm like amazed at what other people can do, part of the crew in their jobs, the set dressing, the costume designers, the prop masters. I am amazed and impressed by it all. And the fact that I get to be part of it is such a cool thing.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much, Maria, for your time. Congratulations. I know people are going to freak out when they see you. They're going to be so excited that you're back. So thank you so much. It was great chatting with you again.
Thank you, Kristen. Congrats again on your baby.
Thank you. Big thank you to Maria for kicking off season 5 with us. You can watch the video version of the podcast at youtube.com/kmaldo. That's KAYMALDO. Listen on your favorite podcast listening platforms or check out more news at popcultureplanet.net. If you enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing so you know when a new one is posted. Rate and review this podcast and share it with your fellow pop culture lovers. Thanks for listening. It's been a blast, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Consider subscribing if you like this video and get even more entertainment news at popcultureplanet.net. See ya!